Well, hello, welcome back, my body language buddies. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the body language guy, and we're back with another live. This time talking about, well, the upcoming Armageddon, the Spotify Armageddon, and the articles, especially Meghan, is bracing for that incoming fallout. And what is happening? What is really happening with Meghan at this moment? That's what we will be discussing today. And first of all, we have to we have to acknowledge that Meghan has just released a new episode of her podcast, Our Wipes, and in that podcast there was this statement. There was a few statements. One of them was just a plain lie that she's trying to retcon. You know, when you adjust the narrative so that it fits your current intentions, such as this that she was saying. Meghan described how she herself has been called crazy and hysterical before revealing the moment that at her worst point, Prince Harry found her a referral to a therapist. Now, I'm going to remind you that back in the Oprah interview, she got a different take on this. This is a direct quote from that interview. You couldn't just go to therapy to seek for help. You couldn't. I mean, you have to understand as well, when I joined that family, that was the last time until we came here that I saw my passport, my driver's license, my keys. All that gets turned over. I didn't see any of that anymore. Like, she was essentially trapped and she couldn't do anything on her own, which we know that it was plain bollocks. You remember that, that baby shower, right? For one thing, just for one thing. So, she has this focus on her podcast, but Spotify is being ruthless with its format and its requirements, and I think it's important to understand. It's important to realize, why is Spotify hell-bent on dominating the podcast arena if it's not yet profitable? Why are they just going with this, trying to boost Meghan's podcast ratings, when you know that it's not that good a podcast? And I'm gonna say that Meghan's podcast is just plain okay. Okay, that's it's nothing like to say that it's phenomenal, because it's not groundbreaking, but let's say that it's okay. Now, what is the point of Spotify besides all this branding boost? Because you know that Meghan attracts headlines. What is the intention? And this is gonna help us understand what are the intentions behind this. And I think even when we're talking about behavior, it's always about the hidden intentions. And this mind exercise, this mental exercise, will be very useful to make sense of this. And the first thing is that long-form content is becoming more and more popular. Say whatever you want about TikTok, about Instagram Reels, about YouTube Shorts. There's this undeniable. You can deny that long-form content is becoming more mainstream, because you can see kids streaming on Twitch for 4 or 5 hours, and they have thousands of viewers. So, people might have this shorter span of attention, and they might like, swiping up. But at the same time, it's that long-form content. It's what creates tribes, like loyal audiences. Long-form content is what creates loyal audiences. That is what Spotify is aiming for, because in the sense of podcasts, in interview format, are fairly easy to produce. Because producing a video of 1 hour can take sometimes even months, okay? Or maybe if it's an interview, you have to bring the person to be right with you, or maybe it's a bit more complicated. If you don't have video, if you just have audio, like in the case of Meghan's Our Wipes, for example, then it becomes really easy to produce 1 hour of content. The problem is that even if Meghan's podcast is average, okay, it's not that bad, but it's not that good either, then there are thousands of podcasts that also are not that bad and not that good either. So you're basically commoditizing your content. What makes your content better than other people? And in that sense, I think Meghan is trying to do what, well, all content creators that know what they're doing are trying to do. Like put some of their personality in that. But it's not the same when, for example, I'm trying to put my personality out there to connect with my audience. Joe Rogan is trying to put his personality out there. But you know that in Meghan, it's a bit forced. But I have to say that in this podcast, in this fourth episode, right? This last episode, Meghan gets something right. I'm going to talk about that at the end of this video. But this is what we have now, and long format, plus a loyal niche audience. Niche in the sense of focus on a certain topic, and that is something where Meghan falls flat, because there's not a focused topic. Yeah, she talks about women's stereotypes, not archetypes, stereotypes, but that is not quite actually a focus topic, and that you could have like hundreds of episodes. When you create content, you need to have the idea, or you need to reframe the idea that you'll be making that for years, not for 12 episodes and that's it. Unless Spotify moved Meghan to make this, to create these videos just for advertising. And in that sense, well, it was very expensive advertising, because we're gonna see how is Spotify treating other content creators which are, of course, not that famous and which have average content too. So somehow they're also cutting that content. But that long format that we're talking about, which is very popular, as I mentioned, in Twitch, well, you have these kids like 4, 5, 6 hours streaming, thousands of viewers. There's a reason for that. Rumble, the other platform where I'm live streaming, they're heavily pushing live streaming, 1 hour live streams. You know that Russell Brand is doing that, a great show. Matt Walsh is doing that. Well, he's not actually live streaming, but he's using this 1 hour format, which is very popular. But the long form content is more and more popular, especially when the mainstream media is losing audience at a rapid pace. People do not believe in mainstream media anymore. They resort to small creators. We are still small creators in this scene. But that's the charm that we have. Even this opinion that we have, and Meghan, of course, has her own opinion and has her own takes on things. That's what could make people stick to her show. Maybe that could help, but we have this problem, and that's what I want to talk about to frame Spotify's attitude. And this is a series of tweets, like 2 minutes, reading this from Podcast Union. Yesterday, Spotify blindsided both Gimlet Union and Podcast Union with 38 layoffs. Spotify has said in the press that these layoffs constitute less than 5% of people working on original podcasts. That number is misleading. We're going to see that this is about exclusive podcasts, which is important because Meghan's show, it's exclusive to Spotify. It's not like me, like I live stream here on YouTube and on Rumble and on Facebook and on Twitter at the same time. And after the show is done, I will be uploading these shows as a podcast on Spotify. So it's not exclusive on my part. But that will be important in seconds. The reality is that each bargaining unit has lost about 30% of its members. This is huge. Each shop has lost seasoned producers, writers, and editors. Many of those laid off were longtime employees, people who helped build our studios from the ground up and who saw them through a global pandemic. Some were on parental leave. Others were in the middle of relocating. So these people, these talented people, and maybe might be more talented than you know who, were just laid off by Spotify for no reason. And well, the short notice was a really short notice. These employees left other jobs, other cities, other countries to work at a company that told them repeatedly that their jobs would be secure. Well, that is, I think that is called an oxymoron, right? A secure job, that I think that doesn't exist. Most egregious is that in Parka's case, these layoffs directly impacted the majority of members in the union's diversity, equity, inclusion, and accessibility committee. You know that these people, the head honchos, are woke only in name, only in words. When the shit hits the fan, well, there's no more woke heart. There's no longer any woke initiative. They just go in for the kill. Yesterday, Spotify told show teams that their podcasts were being cancelled because of low numbers, but decisions the Spotify leadership made directly contributed to those low numbers. So that's like a circular decision. Their decision to make most of Gimlet's and Parcast shows Spotify exclusive, important term, caused a steep drop in listeners. That's like when Joe Rogan went from YouTube, when everybody could see him, to being Spotify exclusive, so only Spotify subscribers could watch him. There was a drop like in 70% audience. But Joe Rogan has a huge enough audience to withstand that 70% drop and still be profitable to Spotify. Now the question is, what kind of audience had Meghan before her first episode of Arswipes, and how many episodes can she produce? We know that there are 12 episodes out there, so the numbers do not add up. As high as 3/4 of the audience for some shows. Yet the company did little or nothing to staunch the bleeding. They don't care. They just made the shots. Hey, come, we will sign an exclusive contract. Here is the fine print. And well, whatever happens, well, you know that we are in charge of production. So Spotify was effectively in charge of production. It's not the case of Meghan, which is Archwell Audio, that is in charge of the production of her podcast. But again, it is not a matter of who is more talented. It's a matter of who has the most visibility and who brings more business to Spotify. But the question remains, does Meghan actually bring business to Spotify? Well, shows languished without marketing support, and teams were not given clear audience goals to meet. That is important. You need a goal. You need this amount of viewers per month. They didn't have that. The strongest indication these employees received that their shows were not meeting Spotify goals was when they were laid off yesterday. To contribute to the confusion, some of the employees who were laid off were working on popular shows, suggesting the cuts weren't solely due to the reach and success of those programs. And yet, Spotify has failed to give any explanation for how they evaluated who would be let go. The calculation is this: podcasting as producing long-form content, as producing the content is great. Yeah, it's great for producing content, but very bad in terms of audience retention, like coming back to the next episode. Because, for example, in terms of Joe Rogan, he has 10 years, an audience of 10 years that no matter who he invites, they will be there because they actually like Joe Rogan's way of asking questions. And that will not change for the next episode. And Joe Rogan makes sure to invite, interesting to moderately interesting people. And you can see on the internet that you will usually have 2 or 3 clips of those 4-hour interviews, and that's it. You already got the cream of the crop, what you needed from every episode. So that is working for them. So I want you to see this, because this is the way Spotify works. They are mindful only of the bottom line. They are not out to save the manatees. They don't care if you have all the talent, all the trajectory, all the networking in the world. If the show is not working, or even the show is working, your job is in jeopardy. And this goes further. Spotify gave employees as little as an hour to close out their work, even though they needed to collect sources, tell guests that episodes weren't airing, file expenses, download personal paperwork, including pay stubs, and finish putting out episodes. This was brutal. This is Spotify. This is the real face of Spotify, and that's why I'm sure that Meghan and Arsewives are not there to boost audience, not to reboost audience, is to boost brand awareness. So Spotify gets mentions, so it gets attention, so it gets clicks, so it gets headlines. That's the investment Spotify did, because I'm sure that Spotify knew from day one that Meghan's topic was not sustainable over time. It was a moment that she was going to run out of friends, for not saying guests, or topics about these women stereotypes, because, well, there are not that many women stereotypes out there. Spotify subscribers expecting to hear their favorite shows have been left in the lurch with no explanation. The fact that Spotify chose to handle these cuts in this way shows their disregard for both their employees and their audience. Again, bottom line, it didn't have to be this way. So this is the big question. Let's jump to the big question. Why is Meghan still, well, trending when her ratings are dropping faster than Harry's follicles? And she's even losing to programs, to shows like this, Meghan and Harry Humiliation, as podcast beaten by Whale Noise Sleep Show on Spotify. And this could be, when we're talking about the Rogers, it can be confusing, like whales noises. No. I mean whales, actual whales noises. We're talking about that, or like whale noise, like the kind underwater to sleep. If you fancy sleeping, thinking that you are underwater with whales nearby, if that's your thing, well, I guess that will work for you. But the problem is that they are on this PR tour, this permanent PR tour. Even so, having this invitation and this how to say that, this I don't want to say buying this kind of awards, but what can I say? Kerry Kennedy on Twitter: I'm so delighted to announce that the Duke and Duchess of Sussex are this year's Robert F. Kennedy Human Rights ROH. I don't remember what the acronym is. I'm going to check it right now. And on the page, laureates in recognition of their work on racial justice, mental health, and many social impact initiatives through the Archewell Foundation. What in the actual, why is that? This ripple of hope. Yes, I'm going to change here to Google Chrome. It's Ripple of Hope Award Gala, whatever that means. And the other awardees, I think that's the way to say it, right? Awardees are Frank Baker, co-founder, managing partner of Sirius, Brian Moynihan of Bank of America, whatever, Duke and Duchess of Sussex. This is one of the very few photos of them that I actually like, but whatever. At least they did that right. Volodymyr Zelensky, right now in the internet, quite divisive figure. I'm not gonna talk much about that. You know that is a topic that is can explode at any time. And well, the MC is Alec Baldwin. I mean, what? That anything goes. Anything goes. If the host is, well, Alec, you know that anything can happen. Yeah, you're asking, what kind of work are Meghan and Harry doing? That is my that is my thoughts exactly. That is also my question. And we have that headline. That what I'm telling you. Headlines like the New York Post, Meghan Markle have been called insane, hysterical, and crazy. I'm going to change to my Google Chrome again, so we can read that that article. Let me see if I can. Okay, much better this format. All right, much better on screen like this with my Batman voice. Meghan Markle has been called insane, hysterical, and crazy. Meghan Markle said she is blah, blah, blah in the show's fifth. Sorry about that. In the show's fifth installment entitled "The Decoding of Crazy." Why do these Meghan's episodes sound like Big Bang Theory episodes? The Decoding of Crazy. The Duchess of Sussex sat down with actresses Constance Wu, Jenny Slate, and Deepika Padukone and discussed allegedly being called insane. Raise your hand if you've ever been called crazy or hysterical, or what about nuts, insane, out of your mind, completely irrational, I don't know, touch grass, whatever. Well, have been called all that, except hysterical, but it's early. Markle asked the roundtable of women. Okay, you get the point. Now, if we were all in the same room and could see each other, I think it would be pretty easy to see just how many of us have our hands up. By the way, me too, the Suits star added. Markle did not elaborate on who allegedly called her these words because, of course, she is never gonna be clear about this. You know what narcissists do? Oh, I've been called like this, or I've been called like that, or my kids have been called this and this by the media, and well, there are no receipts because the media will never call your kids like that because the media will be canceled in seconds if they did such a thing. But this is how it happens. She just plants an idea and people keep repeating that, as we're gonna see in a few minutes. The mother of two also explained how the word crazy is shamelessly thrown around so casually and spoke of the damage it's wrought on society and women, frankly, everywhere. I mean, do you think the word crazy has wrought damage on society and women? I mean, for real. I think most people don't take the word crazy like in its literal meaning. I think it's more like a metaphor, or it's not like they're actually calling you insane. If they call you insane, well, it's a different thing. By the way, there's something else I would like to show you. And I think I need to jump up to this. I want to show. Tell me if this is not insane. Tell me if this is not insanity. When talking about this PR push on the Duchess of Sussex, Women's Health, Oprah Daily, House Beautiful, Good Housekeeping, Cosmopolitan, Harper's Bazaar, 17 all have the same tweet. Meghan Markle is an activist and altruist. She's known to be passionate about making the world a better place. Here are just a few causes the Duchess of Sussex is known to advocate. And you have, the ad video of 1 minute just rolling and making this point about how Meghan being this avatar of what? Of activism and altruism. That's what we get. That's what we are pushed over and over again. And I think that's quite a problem. We have a problem with that, but because everyone realizes that it's not genuine. Everyone realizes that it's not genuine. How can you have some kind of reputation, Meghan, if you are not genuine? If you have all this PR pushing the same story over and over again, and whatever you say on your podcast has these contradictions to whatever you say on the Oprah interview, which is one of your most relevant appearances worldwide. Why do you do that? Do you do that for the headlines? I think You know, the Spotify executives are only focused on how much baby powder, of the nose variety, how much baby powder they can get from this, and just let Meghan do as she pleases. Just get us headlines. Headlines bring awareness, attention, and attention makes money, and money brings the baby powder, and that's what they are aiming for. From relationships to families being shattered, reputations destroyed, and careers ruined, Markle said. Well, she's making a point about the word crazy, and I have to say that this is one of the things that Meghan has gotten right, not in this scope, but I'm going to talk about it, as I told you, at the end of this live stream. But Markle then went on a rant about some sitcoms, such as, oh my god, here we come, here we go to attack popular culture. This is not gonna end well. You know that this never ends well. Such as How I Met Your Mother and Scrubs. No, that's not something that should do, Meghan. Slamming the shows for their representation of said crazy women. The use of these labels has been drilled into us from movies and TV, from friends and family, and even from random strangers, she said. The fact is, no one wants this label. She's right. In How I Met Your Mother, Markle observed how the character of Martin said if she's this crazy, she has to be this hot. And I'm going to look for that reference here. Okay, we have, I don't know if you remember that episode, or if you have heard about the hot crazy line, in which a woman, as crazy she is, in the as crazier she is, well, she should be hotter. It doesn't make sense, according to Barney in that in that show. It doesn't make sense to date a woman which is below that line, because she will be crazier than she is hotter. And I understand that this is a way of being a bit, how to say that, two-dimensional about this. I think it is not fair to talk about craziness and hotness of women in these terms. This is, of course, a comedy, and this is an oversimplification just for giggles, because we know that being crazy could be much more nuanced and complex and even beautiful than this, because you can have, for example, cute crazy, as in Lana Del Rey. I love Lana, but we have to say that if she has songs that her well oh my god, I almost say that if she tastes like Coca-Cola, when you know that she can go all the way there. Okay, you can also have Psycho Crazy as the fictional character of Catherine Trammell, interpreted by Sharon Stone. It's a nice example too. You can have Delusional Crazy, as in Amy Schumer, because she absolutely believes that she's funny, but what can we do? We can just go with it, or just, as I've told Meghan sometimes, close your laptop. And there are other dimensions, other levels, such as batshit crazy, and I can, well, have a couple examples off the top of my head. But Meghan has a point with this. It's not fair to just label women as, well, crazy, or as Barney says, in terms of crazy and hot. But I don't think the term crazy has been that damaging as she claims. And let's see what she has to say about the show Scrubs, because, well, you know that Scrubs is also a very on-point comedy, and also has a problem that seems it was released more than 10 years ago. And you know that humor and comedy more than 10 years ago, well, it was another thing. It was another level. People were not afraid to make this type of jokes. So in Scrubs, she brought up how the character of Elliot, who is a female doctor, said, "I can't take it, Carla." Carla is a very good friend of her. I cannot hide the crazy a minute longer. I'm just this big mountain of cuckoo is about to erupt and spew molten crazy all over him, and he's gonna die like this. So it's again, it's a bit tone deaf, criticizing something that is obviously a metaphor, an exaggeration. You know that there are like this literary tools, vehicles that you can use when you are writing or when you are expressing ideas. I think we should have, I don't know, there must be some manual out there that we could give to Meghan, send to Montecito. We know her address. We could send some kind of manual of styles or something. Yes, suits. Why doesn't Meghan just mention suits? That would be appropriate, right? That would be the right thing to do. She also admitted how, at her worst point, her husband, Prince Harry, found her a therapist. You have to be really honest about what is it that you need and not to be afraid to make peace with that, to ask for it, Markle noted. But what she said on the Oprah interview was a bit different. So I'm not going to say that that is a signal of a crazy woman, because that is not. That's you're just lying. That is not being crazy. You're just lying. That's it. Markle explained how there is a stigma surrounding the word, and it has a silencing effect that hurts women with real mental health issues. And that is the point that she gets right. It's something that, well, in terms of joking, sometimes jokes can be hurting if they are pointed directly as a personal attack on the wrong people that are actually struggling with this. And the term crazy, I have to say, is one of the favorite terms of narcissists and manipulators, because as it has been painted as even playful in the media, because it's not as maybe as strong as Meghan is attributing that power to it. The problem is that it's part of the narcissist's gaslighting tools. But it's not the term that is bad. It's not the term in itself, because as we have seen, comedy has just stripped any power from it. It's the manipulation of the narcissist, the actual evil being here, no matter if it's a man or it's a woman. It's that narcissistic manipulation that gaslights you and ultimately brings, oh, you're just crazy. We know that you're just cute crazy. We can say that you are cute crazy as Lana Del Rey crazy. All right? So that's almost cute. You know that you forget things, you mess things up, and people can even gaslight you in this term. So in that sense, it's not the word that is dangerous. It's the use by evil people. So you're not going to get traumatized by being called crazy. If you are like safe or sure of your own judgment, you're just gonna dismiss it or even point a red flag on the person, and that's it. But in this case, if the person, in this case the woman, has been gaslighted to the point that she is doubting her own judgment, her own her way of thinking, then well, the word can have a vicious effect, but not a general effect on the population, and not a destroying the entire societies, as Meghan is claiming. They get scared, she said. They stay quiet, they internalize, and they repress for far too long. This happens. This actually happens, but not just because a woman is called crazy. And I think Meghan is diminishing. It's diminishing. I think that's the word. Diminishing women with this statement. Meghan is saying that just by being called crazy, a woman can get scared. That is insulting. That is insulting for any person, man or woman. People get scared by when they get crazy. No, men don't get scared. Even we, if I get called crazy, I take it as a compliment. Like, you know, Lethal Weapon, Mel Gibson crazy. You know, that's Martin Riggs crazy. That will be a compliment. But I think she's diminishing, and she is putting down women with this kind of statements. Like, just by being called something, then somehow you are destroying people's lives. And I think everybody thinks that women are much more resilient than that. So that is one of the points that she got it wrong. She's got it wrong. Yeah, many people can get offended by that. She pointed out, calling someone crazy or hysterical completely dismisses their experience and minimizes what they are feeling. One thing, this is, oh my God, I can't believe what I'm going to say now. I can't believe what I'm going to say now. You know what I'm going to say right now. Calling someone crazy or hysterical in the terms that I just outlined in terms of manipulation completely dismisses their experience and minimizes what they are feeling. This is actually true. You're minimizing the person's reactions, and it could happen from a man to a woman, and it can also happen from women to other women. That is not exclusive from men to women. That's important to make this statement. Meghan gets this right, but I'm going to make a distinction also. I'm going to talk about this at the end of this video because it's important to make that statement about why is this myth that men think women are crazy. And it's, spoiler alert, it's just a lack of emotional awareness on the side of men. But we are half responsible for that, and women have the other half of the responsibility. I'm going to talk about that at the end of this video because it's important in terms of your emotional vocabulary and your own emotional intelligence. It keeps going to the point where anyone who's been labeled it enough times can be gaslit into thinking that they're actually unwell, or sometimes worse, to the point where real issues of all kinds get ignored. Well, that's not happening today, Markle said. It's not that simple. That's the mechanics behind that. That is the mechanics behind gaslighting. It's not that simple. It's never just with one word. It's sometimes hiding things. It's sometimes giving you vague instructions to do something. You mess up, and then, well, you always mess up. That's okay. It's not like you're crazy or anything. You know that these negative statements can also further have this impact on your psyche. And this is how it works. Not as simple. It's an oversimplification. It will be nice. This will be an oversimplification to make some kind of humor or add some levity, but it's not. She's actually saying that women are this gullible, are this easy to be manipulated. Women are not that easy to be manipulated. It's not that easy to manipulate women. That's something that we have to understand. Not even women, nor men. It's the emotional disposition to it in terms of what are your blind spots. It's like Harry had blind spots. You know that Harry had traumas, had this life experience that were not good. He did not have the tools, the emotional tools, to digest this kind of events. And it was his mother was the one that could have given these tools to him, and his mother was the one who disappeared. So it was tragic. So we all know that Meghan, well, made some, took a bit of advantage of this, and no, she didn't have to call Meghan, to call Harry crazy. It was much more subtle than that. She even shared that she has felt lonely at times and confessed that she's been conditioned to not show emotion in public. I don't know, Rick. I think this is fake. I'm going to highlight it with the orange color that she usually wears in public, by the way. So that is appropriate. Elsewhere in the episode, Markle described the word hysteria in terms of its Greek meaning and origin. The word hysterical comes from hysteria, which is, wait for it, the Greek word for womb, the Los Angeles native added. She said Plato himself was actually amongst the Greek philosophers who believed that the womb would travel around the body, adding pressure to other organs, which would then lead to erratic and unreliable behavior. Okay, that's nice. Yeah, that's what was believed back then. That was the origins of the term. Yes, is is usually a term that is I don't like this term when women are called this term Karens. Karen this, Karen that, because I have very good Karen friends, very nice Karen friends, and I think of them every time I see this. So that's a stereotype that I'm not willing to. I don't like to use that. I strongly encourage you not to use. But that is the stereotype of the hysterical woman that goes and demands to talk to the manager and etc. You know that those TikTok memes. But I think it's not fair to most Karens in the world. It's not fair to most Meghans with an H in the world to share this name. But well, this is what you got: a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get. So, going back to our nifty our presentation. Let's go back to here's Meghan here. Okay. She's got something right about why are women called hysterical, or why are women called crazy, or why are women called insane. And it's not fair. It's not fair in terms of emotions. Both men and women, we have the same set of emotions. We express them in different ways. And I've seen this movement that, he says that men should express their emotions. Men should be able to cry in public. But the problem is that when a man actually shows emotions in public, he, most of the time, and depends of course on the person, he is ridiculed. He's just put like as a wimp, painted as a wimp. So we have this strong pressure. It's like the other famous Harry. You know, Harry Styles. When Harry Styles took those pictures crying, well, everyone praised him. Everyone loved him. Everyone loved Harry Styles crying. Okay, I say, well, he is capable of crying as every other man is. But when Jordan Peterson went with Piers Morgan, and Piers Morgan was asking him about these people that are like the incels, the men that are incels, so-called incels by others, and Jordan Peterson went very emotional, and he even shed a few tears because he was emotional about the fact that there are men that need real help to elevate from the gutter they are in. They are really depressed. They are on the edge of doing the unthinkable, of taking their own lives. He was very emotional about that, and he was ridiculed online. Oh, well, he got all these tears and that. And I think that's hypocritical. And that is a double standard. But what is the real deal here? What is the real deal here is that men and women, we have the same subset or the same tool set of emotions. The exact same emotions. It's the same. But we express them in different ways. Because our brains, shocking, are wired in different ways. And this woke brigade doesn't want us to acknowledge that. We are exactly the same. We can act exactly the same. We have all these archetypes of women. It's suddenly the archetype of a strong woman. It seems like a strong woman has to act like a man nowadays. That doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. But that's what, the mainstream media, especially all this series about the a strong female character, they just want to paint that, the woman has to do everything better than men, and it's not that simple. You need to have a character arc, right? And they're painting men as they are total wimps, evil, like stupid, you name it. And they try to elevate women by putting down men, which is also not the way to do these things. I recall this, I think the perfect strong female lead is Ellen Ripley from the Alien franchise, interpreted by Sigourney Weaver. That was perfect. That was an independent woman who worked as, I think she was an engineer on the Nostromo in the original movie. She was just an engineer that gets to survive this. and she gets to survive just by sheer cunning and not getting all. She gets emotional, of course. She feels fear, but she learns how to channel that fear. She knows how to manage that. But it's not like she's not terrified. So it's like we are in this kind of eliminating or shooting off emotions. Like you should not be emotional. I understand that most women have felt that men have tried to shut those emotions off on them. Like, you're just being crazy, you're just being hysterical. Is that we men do not, most men do not understand how women express their emotions, because we are not used to express our emotions. And most of the time, it's not like we don't know. It's not that we don't have a loving mother and father. We have a loving mother and father. It's most likely we will know how to acknowledge, be aware of our emotions and where do that emotions come from. And so those emotions will not be as overwhelming as us to be, have an outburst, a physical outburst of emotions. We don't want that. But the problem is that we, by design, by evolution, usually do not express emotions. It's something that is call it being competitive in terms of emotions with our peers, with other men. We don't express that. We go fishing, or we go bowling, or we go hunting, or whatever. And when we go back home, our wives ask us, did you talk about your friend's family, or your friend's spouse, or your friend's mother, or I don't know, the kids? No, we didn't talk about anything. We talk about technology, we talk about music, we talk about video games, we talk about hunting, we talk about anything besides, I don't know, family or emotions or relationship or how you feel. We don't talk about that. It's a fact. It's that is a fact. We have to learn to talk about that, to open up about our emotions when we don't know how to express them or how to channel them. That's why the meme, men will do anything instead of going to therapy, is because we don't know where to start, because it is an actual effort on our part to say, hey, I feel like this, I've been feeling like this, and this is how I've been reacting. We don't like that. We loathe that. We hate that. It's that simple. But women are much less repressed on those ways. Women are repressed in many ways, but emotions, it's not something that women feel repressed. Yeah, I know that there are dozens of different emotions, and you might feel that you have been felt you have been repressed. You being a woman, you feel repressing some of your emotions, but it's not. It's I would say that I want to nail the right words for this. It's in essence that we expect women to be emotional, and by being emotional, I'm not saying being crazy or hysterical, but we expect you to express those emotions, because we men, we learn how to identify our own emotions by watching you, by interacting with you. If men or women, if none of us express those emotions, we will have gone extinct. But the problem is that most men do not understand where do those emotions come from. We think that our thinking should be only pragmatic, critical thinking, like 1 + 1 is 2, and that's it. No, sometimes things do not make sense. And emotions, every decision we make, we might think is rational, and a lot of men do not know this. The rational decisions are just a justification to our decision made by emotions. We make our decisions based on emotions first, and then justify them with our rational thinking. That's how we work. And most men think, no, I'm rational. My wife is a bit crazy, and this and such. She says something and does the other. It's just a difference in way of thinking. If that should be taught at school. That absolutely be taught at the school, and I should have a longer episode talking about the differences between men and women, and why it's so hard for us to get to understand each other, and why, even if we are willing to understand each other, it is so hard to listen to each other. That's why I've told you so many times that listening is one of the most important skills that we can have. We don't listen. We're just expecting the other to shut up so we can say whatever is in our heads. That is not listening. That's just taking turns. So that is a good topic. I think Meghan finally mentioned a valid topic. She exaggerated a bit about that, but I think this is part of a deeper discussion that has to be talked about, and we have to discuss also why these emotions are so hard. Why men have such trouble expressing our emotions, and most men are okay with that, and women get crazy, if so to speak, when we just have the same expression, like happy, sad, angry, and whatever. That happens. That happens a lot. But that's what I wanted to see about what Meghan got right, and what she got a bit exaggerated, and what she got plain wrong. I hope that this reframing of the word crazy help you, regardless you're a man or a woman, of how someone can manipulate you and use these terms washed down. I think that's the expression, washed down by popular culture, like not that powerful, not that offensive. I can use this kind of terms to undermine your view of the world, but along with much complex and evil schemes that include, of course, actions. Please change the picture. You can't see Meghan anymore. Okay, I'm going to change the picture. Go ahead and change the picture. It's quite obvious. The entire point of all this podcast, thanks Jordan for this, is for Meghan to address everything that she's ever been accused of, and then trying and failing to make it seem like her critics are picking on her simply because she's a woman. Yeah, that's basically the debate in these days of mainstream media. Meghan is, just right in that way. I'm going to say whatever I want. I want to change my narrative. I'm going to have a shot at this. And, whatever they say, you're just attacking a successful, self-made millionaire, biracial woman that is happy with her family and kids, and you're just jealous of her. All right. So I can't criticize and say that, what she's got wrong and she's got right. I think this is the first episode I made that I actually, it was not just a satire about Meghan and her podcast, because it's actually needs to be addressed. And there's so much content here. That was the last. You don't want this. This is one of the crazy ones. Let me see. Let's leave Barney here, and let's read your super chats, my body language buddies. We have the time aside for that. Let me see. Super. Okay, Laurie Wilcox, thanks for your super sticker. I would like to know if any of you send a super sticker for a whale. Why not? Kay Raven Graham, super sticker. Thanks for that. All right. This is interesting. Thanks, Audrey Blankenship. I definitely prefer content creators, including you, thank you, over mainstream media. Haven't trusted them in years because they're corrupt liars and are in bed with other corrupt people. I agree with that. Very, very graphic, but very direct statement of what is the current problem with the news and the media and whatever we see on these people. Yeah, that's why this surge in content creators, and why we are kind of a threat to this bigger outlets And that's why we get attacked so much by, well, these journalists, that are more like mercenaries that just attack us for taking out their jobs. So, well, I think there's opportunity for everybody. This is not my problem that you did not care to build a tribe, an audience, and all you did was, cater to being a mouthpiece of your masters. That's not my problem. So deal with that. Margie, thanks, Margie. Podcasts are excellent marketing tools. Transcribed podcasts improve CEO. Quoted interviews generate free publicity and more subscribers. Fans form bonds with likable hosts. Thank you, Margie. And are easily influenced. I have influence over you. But that's why I made that huge statement in the last 30 minutes of my Ask Me Anything the other day. It was on Saturday. That I want you to ask yourself and ask others the uncomfortable questions. Okay, that's what I want. That's why sometimes you might not like what I say. You might not agree with what are my opinions. That's okay. I just want to make you ask questions. And by asking questions, you're going to find out things about yourself. You're going to find things about people. You're going to find things, you're going to realize things about your circumstances, about your about what's going on around you, and realize, hey, what is happening around me is nonsense. I have my own sets of values. I have my own opinion, and my judgment might be different, totally different from everyone around me, and it's still mine, and that's what I'm willing to live by. That's when you really start to live. When you ask the relevant questions, you realize what is your own answer to them, your opinion, not mine, not Joe Rogan's, not Meghan Markle's, not anybody's, your opinion, your take on that, and decide to live your life based on that. I think that is the most beautiful way we can live our lives beyond, of course, love and bliss. Sandra Parra, in Spanish, what are you trying to say with your question? What the F in reality? ¿Qué carajo en realidad? Well, what Meghan is trying to do is just what Jordan said. She's trying to sell herself and change her narrative. That's what she's trying to do with her podcast. And Spotify is trying to use that for headlines, awareness, and the baby powder, the nose baby powder that is so, rampant in Hollywood and mainstream media executives. Stacy Lugo, super sticker. Thank you, Stacy. Thanks for that. Susan Reich, thank you, Jesus, for your wonderful lives. You're the best. Thank you. I appreciate that. Oliver, Meghan doesn't speak for or to me on any level. She's projecting her insecurities onto all women. I agree with that. All that money can't buy self-esteem. Sad. Oh, Margie, thanks for this super chat. Best live ever. Thank you, Bottle Language Guy. Yeah, this live was savage. Like, my English was on point finally. I'm finally having the grasp of this. This is the way I want to do my lives, like in one shot, right straight to the end. This was amazing. I have to confess, I was scrambling to get all this content on point. Luckily, I could find a nice connection with the topics, and that's why I'm working relentlessly to bring you the best content, the best insights. You know what's going on with the royals and the non-royals too, the Montecito duo, which is a great example for everything that you should not do with your life. All right. Mary W. Rice, shout out to Spesh Wemmick. I had very good childhood. My friend grew up in the projects. I need to get thicker skin, and Meghan apparently had a very, very rough childhood, didn't she? Resilience is key. Yeah, I got that you meant thicker. Yeah, resilience. Resilience is fundamental. But resilience, the problem with resilience is that people think is not having emotions at all. That is impossible. That is like not having thoughts. You can't do that. If I tell you a purple dinosaur right now or a purple elephant, you're gonna think about a purple elephant. There's no way around that. You cannot shut off your thoughts. You cannot shut off your feelings. Resilience is the ability to acknowledge that some situations are gonna spark reactions in you. You're gonna feel mad, angry, sad, joyful, and the first thing you have to do is, well, realize that you're feeling something, and most of the time, 99% of the time, that wanting to punch someone in the face is not the best idea, and it's not the best first reaction, because it's in that moment that you say, this person has, I was rereading Marcus Aurelius' meditations the other day. I have it around here, and I remember that he said something along the line that if someone says something that hurts you, well, there are two options. If they're right, then you have no reason to get mad at them, because if they're right of what they say, then you have to, well, like reevaluate or examine your own personality, your own life. Okay, if they are wrong, then realize that they are wrong and point out kindly how wrong they are. Because if they are wrong, they couldn't be possibly saying something really bad about you. Of course, if someone is defaming you online and is actually hurting your reputation by defaming you, then you must take direct, immediate action. But most of the time, people just say something about us. Maybe we had a bad day, we overreact, and things escalate, and it's a bad idea. Bad idea. Resilience is the ability of recognizing your own emotions, and that is the first step to know how to interact with others in a way. No, it's not that you're going to let others manipulate or hurt you, and you're just going to let them do that over and over again. It's not about that. It's to realize that you have more power than you can ever imagine by accepting your emotions, channeling them, knowing where they come from, and knowing that people most of the time are just projecting the misery, the frustration, the weight they have, and it's not about you. It's not personal. And of course, well, sometimes the circumstances are overwhelming. Sometimes it's not a person. Sometimes it's not a group of persons. Sometimes just the, well, events of nature. And sometimes it's just bad luck. And resilience is saying, how can I use this to improve my life? How can I use this obstacle to find my way? Remember that the obstacle, what stands in the way, becomes the way. Okay? This is also from Marcus Aurelius, by the way. So, so super chats. Oh my God, so a couple of super chats right here. Yeah, Audrey, you're right. Jordan Peterson goes against the grain with wokeness. That's why the double standard. That's right, because the woke want men to express their emotions, to cry, and when Jordan Peterson cries, then they mock him. They're hypocrites, just hypocrites. Pan Cathcart. Jesus, will you read out portions of Valentine Lowe's book to us when it comes out? Well, you know that I think H.G. Tudor had some problems when he did the same with Tom Bauer's book. I'm not willing to go into any copyright shenanigans with YouTube, and I don't think I will read directly from the book, but maybe I could read passages, or I could paraphrase from the book. And the best thing that I can do is connect dots from things appearing on the book, or facts from the book that, oh, that explains this, that paints this in a different light. Now I can understand this behavior in a totally different light. That's something that I can do, and I think that will be better for all of us, both for the health of my channel, so I don't have any copyright problems, and you can have not just a reading, but a more comprehensive way of looking at all what is going on with the royals, all the royals, from this courtier's perspective. That will be much better for all of us. Jessica Morales Riojas, thanks for your super sticker. Appreciate that. Kesha Sale. Someone once told me that there is a difference between listening to listen and listening to reply. I agree with that. Totally agree with that. At 60, I am learning to listen. Will you comment on the coronation date? It's the same date as Archie's birthday, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. I have to give it. I just found out like 20 minutes before this live, so I have to give it a couple maybe hours. Maybe tomorrow I will comment on that. But yes, I will have a comment on it tomorrow. Audrey, I understand. I think everybody understood your first super chat. Meant to say Jordan Peterson goes against the grain of woke. Yeah, we understood that. We got that. JB Brooks, super chat. Thanks, JB, for that super chat. Sandra, thank you, Jesus. Your English is on point. I'm improving every day thanks to you that have patience with my wacky pronunciation sometimes. And your explanations on Meghan are also on point. Thank you. I appreciate that. Did Meg Reiki did Meg change her story from Oprah? Yeah, I thought Harry was ashamed, but now he gave her the number of someone for her to call and help. Yes, Redcon. And Shelly Lewis, a super sticker. Thanks, Shelly, for your super sticker. And that's the show for today. 3,000 bottle language buddies. That is amazing. That's great having you, my bottle language buddies. Oh, wow. One super sticker. Last minute super sticker from Elena Morales Chacon. Thanks, Elena. Gracias. From Mexico. Remember to download my 100 bottle language tips right in the description of this video. If something ever happens to any of my channel, my email list is the surefire way to get in touch. You download the guide, and once you download it, you will be subscribed to my emails. I should begin to write again about emotions, about how to process this, the circumstances around us that could be overwhelming, about resilience. Why not? So maybe I will be sending 1 or max 2 emails a week. I don't want to overwhelm you. Maybe in my Twitter I will be more. Maybe it will be daily. I don't know yet. But well, my bottle language buddies. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the bottle language guy. And until we meet in another video or another live, remember the 2 most important words: much love and bliss. Take care, because I love you all. Bye bye.